Step one is to deconstruct the hair. Hair can be broken down into 5 features: depth, highlights, base color, flow, and flyaways. In these 2 examples, I will show you the deconstruction process. First, establish the outline of the hair. Next is to identify and isolate the darkest shapes that are responsible for creating the depth or volume of the hair. Next, identify the highlights. It is important not to overcomplicate your shapes. It is unnecessary. The base color is simply everything in between the depth and the highlights. This structure becomes your line art when you begin coloring, drawing, or painting, regardless of the medium you are using. The 2 other features, flow and flyaways, are characteristics you must be able to recognize, but not for the initial drawing. Flow is one of the most important properties to understand. Flow is simply the direction the hair is laying. The reason it is so important is that regardless of the medium, you must fill everything in the natural direction of the flow. This is the most efficient way to establish the texture of the hair while avoiding spaghetti hair. Flyaways, on the other hand, is a feature that is added in the final stage of the process. Therefore, they should be ignored until the very end. Do your best to not be distracted by them. At no point during this process should you be creating individual hairs until you reach the end stage by adding flyaways. Here's what my drawing looks like before I begin coloring. What you are looking at is the outline, the dark shapes, and the highlights, just like the 2 examples. Step 2 is identifying the minimum foundational colors of the hair. This tends to be 3 to 4 with obvious exceptions. You should be looking for the darkest color, the lightest color, and the most common color. The precision of your color choices is far less important than the values of your colors, so don't be too particular. Here are the 3 colors I will be using for the foundation of my example. Step 3 is filling in the base colors according to the deconstruction. This is also where the hair flow comes into play, because you don't just want to randomly scribble in the colors. You must follow the natural flow of the hair as shown in step 1. The step may require several layers depending on the medium you are using. I find the best path to be filling in the darkest shapes first, then the highlights, and then finally the base color. For this tutorial, I will be showing the time-lapse version. However, you can watch the real-time version by clicking the link in the description. As I mentioned, several layers may be necessary for good results. For my example, I do 2 layers of my foundational colors while strictly following the flow of the hair. Step 4 is choosing the toning colors. This is where the hair gets its true color. This is also a very flexible step. Choose between 1 and 3 additional toning colors that complement the natural color of the hair. The colors should be much more saturated than the foundational colors. For example, blonde hair, you may choose a bright yellow, or for brown hair, you may choose a red to make it a red-brown, or even an orange to make it more orange-brown. Just be creative and experiment. Here are the 2 toning colors I decided to add to my example. Step 5 is applying the toning colors. Remember to continue working with the flow of the hair according to step 3. The toning colors are used to transition between the darkest colors and the most common color, and also the lightest color and the most common color. Sometimes less is more. Don't overuse the toning colors. Here I begin adding the toning colors in the transitions between the shadows and the highlights. In many ways, you can consider the toning colors to be the sheen of the hair. These colors are greatly affected by light. The 6th and final step is to add the flyaways. Here you will reuse the darkest and lightest colors of the hair. Flyaways can be rather random, so there aren't many rules for them to follow. Just like the toning colors, don't overuse them. Flyaways don't always follow the flow of the hair either, and will require a bit of practice and a certain degree of confidence. For my flyaways, I'll be introducing white. Since I chose to do my example with colored pencils, white just works better for the highlighted flyaways. Okay, so there is actually one more step, and that is to subscribe and share this video with all of your art groups and friends, because together we can rid the world of spaghetti hair. Also, if you liked this video and you want to learn even more, then I have good news for you. I have hundreds of hours of tutorials in the Unmask Art Club. Just click the link in the description and sign up. Sign up for a year and get 2 months free, and I'll cure your spaghetti hair and all your other bad habits. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.